Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and start with public transportation goals for the Lower Rio Grande Valley Regional Strategic Plan. My name is Tom Logan. I'm the director for Valley Metro. Some quick clearinghouse items. Please put your cell phones on vibrate or turn them off. The meeting is being recorded. This presentation is being recorded. So if you have any comments or questions, somebody's going to come up to you with a mic. Please state your name for the record and give us your feedback. I'm going to go through the strategic plan deadlines. July 18th is the deadline for all input. August 6th is the final regional meeting. August 21st and 22nd is actually the deadline for input. And September 24th, we go to our board, the Development Council Board, for approval. I'm going to give you a quick presentation on Valley Metro. This is separate from the strategic plan. We want to just let you know some of our accomplishments. And so we're Valley Metro. We're the Rio Grande Valley Regional Bus Service Provider. Our vision, mission, and values are here. Our vision is to provide safe, efficient, dependable, and enjoyable public transportation to the people of the Rio Grande Valley. We're a department of the Development Council. We're the designated recipients for 5310, 5307, and 5339 funds. We are also the lead agency for our Regional Public Transit and Human Resources Coordination Committee. And I want to, Norma, she's our vice chair. She's here also. Member of numerous local planning and steering committees. Bus routes throughout the Rio Grande Valley. We provide service directly to McAllen, Mission, Edinburgh, Pharr, San Juan, Alamo, Donna, Westlaco, Mercedes, and rural areas such as Sullivan, Willacy County, Port Isabel, Laguna Vista, Laguna Heights, and also Hardale here in Hidalgo. We have created numerous partnerships that have enabled us to promote public transportation in the region and to launch added services here in the valley. Here's our system map. As you can see, we have fairly good coverage across the valley. This is at the foundation of our service. We do have a presence in the three-county area. And right now what we're working on is adding the level of service. Currently we have hour to hour and a half frequencies. We're trying to increase the level of service so that we can go up to half an hour frequencies where the service demand requires it. We also have coordinated service with the City of McAllen, Metro, the City of Brownsville, Metro, the South Padre Island, the Wave, and Metro Connect. We honor each other's transfers and we help residents of the valley commute between the services, transfer between the services by giving information about all the services available here in the valley. Service is Monday through Saturday from pretty much 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And our ridership has increased throughout the years. As you can see, in fiscal year 2012, we had a 115% increase in ridership. Last year, we had 38% in ridership. And this year, we're about a 7% increase year to date in ridership. We were just recently recognized by the Federal Transit Administration for having the highest ridership here in Texas when it comes to large urban provider. Why large? Because we provide service here in Hidalgo, and Hidalgo is over the 200,000 population. So we fell under that category. Our sister provider, Metro McAllen, also received a recognition about having the highest ridership counts in small urban. So the valley as a whole is doing really well when it comes to public transportation. How the system works, we have flexible routes. We deviate up to half a mile to pick up people that make a reservation 24 hours in advance. And then we'll continue the route back where we deviated to pick those people up. We also have commuter service that connects the city of McAllen to Harlingen and all the cities in between on Business 83. And we have commuter service from Harlingen into Brownsville, connecting the city of San Benito, Los Fresnos, and downtown Brownsville. We also have some demand response, and our base fare is $1. Students pay 50 cents. Disabled, elderly, and veterans and Medicare recipients also pay 50 cents. We also have 20 ride passes they have pretty much a 50% discount. So we're fairly accessible to the whole population. Some areas of our service are actually fare-free, such as in the rural areas of Willacy and the Brownsville to the Port Isabel, Laguna Heights, Laguna Vista is now fare-free also. Recent projects that we're very proud of is a rebranding effort. Additional bus shelters that I think we added close to 86 bus shelters across our service area. We added a lot of new routes, new service. We pretty much doubled, in 2013, we doubled our level of service. We initiated a travel training program with the Promotoras group, and that really helped us educate the people out in the colonias and subdivisions that are outside the urbanized area. Current projects, we're working with South Texas College, the Jack Express project to connect their campuses and in giving the general public more access to public transportation in the region. We added two routes. Year to date, we added Route 35 that connects the Mid-Valley campus to their nursing and technology campuses in South McAllen. We also added Route 12. We converted that route from a limited service to regular service, connecting Weslaco to the Delta area and the Delta area to the Edinburgh. So that route is now running Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we were able to do that via this partnership. Current projects, we're working with the City of Ghana to build a parking ride at their international bridge. We're currently working on the final design, and construction should start sometime this summer. The Edinburgh Transit Terminal and streetscape and parking, it's coming. We actually finished with the streetscape project. For those that live in Edinburgh or have business out there, I encourage you to go to McIntyre Street. We did a lot of enhancements on that street, and we pretty much have a nice connection between the courthouse, the county courthouse, to the city hall, to the UTPA campus. It's 8 blocks, and the project was a little bit over $2 million. And it's beautiful. The city of Edinburgh is now using it to host their fairs. At night they close it, and they have all these festivities. And it's a way of promoting transit for the general population, not only that you can use the bus, but you can also walk or bike around that area. The next phase of that project is part of their downtown revitalization plan, is the terminal. As you can see it here this is the terminal. This is just a concept. We're finalizing the grant so that we can start working and working on that terminal. We're going to pretty much combine all the routes that are currently running in Edinburgh, and we're going to have plans for the future rail service, since this property is adjacent to the rail line here in Hidalgo. We have a New Freedom Transit project in Edinburgh. They finished with it already. WIN has the sidewalks along University from the highway 281 to all the way to the courthouse. We helped them build new sidewalks, 88 ramps, striping the streets, signals. So now we made it more accessible for pedestrians and people with disabilities. We're also building a Harlingen transit garage. This is to store our buses and maintain them. Currently in Cameron County, we do not have a facility for that. So we're forced to bring all of our buses to the Weslaco side. This will give us, help us a lot logistically, and also help us with our performance measures. This facility should be finished this summer, by the end of July. We have a current project with the City of Mission. We have a transit streetscape project. Again, it's their main street, Conway. The city was working with the downtown business, and we're doing the same thing that we did in Edinburgh. We're building an oversized sidewalks with pedestrian improvements such as benches, shelters, landscaping, lighting, the striping, all the safety. So we have a really good partnership with the City of Mission. This project should be ending by the end of the year. They should be completed with this project. Future projects. Fleet replacement, believe it or not, we travel a lot of miles. The buses that we bought 2 years ago, they're pretty much near their useful life, and we're going to be working on that. We just got the grants approved, so we're going to be investing close to $6 million to buy new buses for our entire service. Service expansion, we're looking at adding more service along Business 83. The Mission, McAllen, Edinburgh, we're going to add more service. And the Hidalgo, Far, Edinburgh, we're also looking at adding more service. We were working on a park and ride lot in Weslaco. We already have the lot. We're just putting the ground into place so we can build that. Weslaco Transit Facility, that facility that we currently are housed in is over 20 years old. It's in need of rehab and expansion. The Edinburgh Terminal we should be working on this project this year, and it should be completed by the end of next year. We're working on a park and ride in Los Fresnos, and we also have New Freedom projects in San Juan and Far. And we have a planned terminal for the Harlingen downtown area. So in a nutshell, that's what Valley Metro, we've been pretty busy. Staff has been doing great. They're fairly busy, but they welcome this challenge. We know that it's for the good of our community and our users. Any questions in regards to this presentation? So now we're going to cover the LRJBDC strategic plan, specifically public transportation. Again, we have our goals to provide an effective and efficient public transportation in the area, increase public participation in public transportation, improve safety and security, and continue to develop our regional transit infrastructure. Real quick, some of the accomplishments in the past years is rebranding of services to Metro. Metro McAllen renamed their services. Bronzeville is now Metro. We are Metro. So we are all holding that flag of Metro. We're hoping that the whole community can identify public transportation by, when they see Metro, they can relate, oh, it's open to the general public. And that's what we were aiming for. We were very happy that we were able to replace our entire fleet 2 years ago, but now we're going again through that exercise. Expanded the service and days of service in Hidalgo. We're looking at expanding more service. Not necessarily the days. We don't have forecast Sunday service, even though there's a lot of requests for Sunday service. We don't have plans yet. We believe that we need to add more on the Monday to Friday before we move into the Sunday service. We always are conscious of the cost effectiveness and efficiency measures. Our goal is to continue to improve 10%. We've been holding through on that. I think staff is very observant of that, and we continue to obtain that 10%. And that's why we're keeping it at 10%. We're continuing to implement intelligent transportation system. That's basically the onboard computer where we're able to track it. Now all the reports are being automated. launching the Wi-Fi across our entire service area. Currently, our buses are equipped only in Hidalgo, and Cameron only the one that connects Harlingen to Brownsville. We have free Wi-Fi. I know Brownsville is also working on that. McAllen is. We all are very conscious that newer generations are very tech savvy, and is one of the expectations. So we want to make sure that we meet that need. The revision of our regional public transportation plan was also accomplished recently. Increase in ridership. And we were very proud that in 2012 we were able to connect McAllen, Brownsville, and Harlingen. So those are some of our past accomplishments. As mentioned before, our goal to provide an effective and efficient public transportation. The objective is to maintain or increase transit ridership. With current trends in transportation, we have to be very active out there because people will decide to use other modes, so we have to make sure that we continue to meet those transportation needs via either buses, van pooling, car sharing, bicycling, and pedestrian. We are looking at all of those different modes. The transit provider strategies will be measured by the following outcomes: raising awareness of public transportation, provide uniform and affordable transit service to the community, introduce route modifications that are cost effective, promote greater regionalization of public transportation, increase mobility throughout the region, provide more efficient and effective scheduling and monitoring of routes that provide more user-friendly transit systems. Provide cost-effective alternative modes of transportation to commuters, increase convenience of payment methods for transit users, and provide service that has attracted a wide range of people. The strategies to obtain these goals are: display regional transit information at areas of public interest, implement a base fare across the region, continue to restructure and expand the route systems where necessary, continue to develop of a strong brand for public transportation, increase connectivity of routes throughout the region, and establish an ITS for dispatching, scheduling, and monitoring and public information access. We want to work together on making sure that we have a clearinghouse for anyone, that they can go to a single site and they have one click, one call, and they get their information across the valley. Any questions on that particular goal? Again,
Actually, I have three somewhat questions.
Go ahead.
The new UT RGB, I know they have someone in the system who's working on transportation. Are you going to be part, is Valley Metro going to be part of that? They talk about having an app where you can just push the app and find out when the next Valley Metro will be leaving, or the taxi cab, or whatever, share ride.
Really good question. I'm glad that you asked that. Yes, as a matter of fact, Norma, director for Metro Brownsville, and myself, we have been part of committees that were created both in UTPA and UTB, and we have met with several people from UT Austin regarding the new RGB campus.
I would just think that you might want to have that as one of your strategies to work with them.
Excellent.
To make it more effective and efficient. My second point, besides the app, is, I'm not sure how to articulate this. The fact that should it be part of your strategy that you are working hand in hand with McAllen and Brownsville and Pottery Island,
yes,
to make it more efficient. I know you pool together when you buy new buses, right? You pool those procurements, but even on other issues, maybe.
I know more and more we're working together. As a matter of fact, now us, the directors of each system, we're meeting on a monthly basis. Just this year, we're going to start doing that, and we're coordinating efforts on synchronizing the time schedule so that our buses, we give the people transfers that are coordinated, so that they're not having to wait for the next bus too long or they miss the next bus. So we're working on
I think that's a strategy.
it is something that we want to list, yes.
And that was the same question I was going to go ahead and also comment on that coordination. The coordination efforts that are currently underway, going to coordinate the efforts of the RGB and coordination efforts between the transit providers. You mentioned as one of the main strategies to accomplish this. Also, I think I also wanted to add somehow reaching out to the communities that are currently also not getting public transportation. How do we partner and get them involved, and how do we be able to make sure that we are able to provide service to areas that don't have the service right now. I think we know pretty much where we have service, but how do we get to those areas that don't have the service and need the service?
That's it.
Just a recommendation on the strategies to think about increasing funding for advertising through private entities. Most local businesses don't know that the bus route runs to the front, and advertising dollars are minimal for transit providers. Outside resources such as private entities should be included also.
Thank you. That's a really good suggestion. We do have some advertising available. We actually have advertising available on our buses, outside and in. Now, we don't have a dedicated person or a subcontractor to go out and market our space, and that's something that we're working on. We have seen a big increase in advertising revenues collected through this new, we started about a year ago, and it's been very successful, and we want to make sure that we continue to expand on that, but that's really good. We don't mention it here, so we'll add that. Okay, any other questions, comments? I'm going to move on to our next goal, which is increase public participation in public transportation, I'm sorry. We want to increase the stakeholder involvement in project planning, design, and implementation. Community involvement is essential to public transportation services, as it can be dramatically impact a person's and/or a community quality of life. Projects being proposed to policymakers are of high quality if they're undergone through a public involvement process. The measurable outcome for this strategic in this goal are to receive input from the public on transit programs and services. Strategies, we only have one strategy for this one, which is to continue to participate in community outreach, market transit, and engage the public. Last year, I think staff did an excellent job. We attended more than 120 different outings. It was job fairs, it was community fairs, it was public meetings at both local or municipal levels and county. So we're going to continue to put more efforts on it. We know that it's paying off. Why? Because our phones keep increasing. We keep getting more phone calls. We keep getting more requests for service. So I know this is one of our main goals, to make sure that we market public transportation as a whole here in the RGB. Yes, go ahead.
Are y'all going to start using the social media to educate the public? Because I know that's a big thing, not only here but everywhere.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter account, a Blogger account. We do have a website. We have emails. Now we're trying to promote that, and each other has links. Like we have the links for Brownsville, McAllen, and South Padre Island, and vice versa. They do. But I think the main goal is to create one one click, one call center, and even a web.
Like a one-stop.
One stop, exactly. That's part of the goal that we have for the region.
Tom, I just need some clarification. When you're talking about this regional strategic plan, is this goals and objectives based just on Valley Metro's perspective, or?
Mainly Valley Metros, because we cannot enforce you to follow this. It's what we're going to be talking to you that we want to do, and we can see partnerships being able to be created.
Okay, so the plan that we developed, the Lower Rio Grande Valley Public Transportation Coordination Plan, goals and strategics, those are separate and apart from this?
They're kind of a combined. It's being mentioned. Most of this is being mentioned in the regional plan, but these are specifically to the COG.
Okay, so this is separate from the regional planning that's going on?
Right, because the regional plan, we just have projects open, but anybody can interact and take those projects, right? On this one, this is what we're saying that we're going to do, because we only have control of what we can do, and we can advise you, or we can reach out to create a partnership with you, if the possibilities are there.
But I also thought, though, if there was something in your plan that was really important, if we get it, like in housing,
If we get it in this plan, when we write grants and things like that, we can say this is part of the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Corporation's plan as well, which gives more punch to things that we might be doing apart from the comp.
And if you
Does that
see,
make sense?
Yeah, so that's kind of,
So I would say if there's anything in your plan, you may want to include it in this plan. So if you're going to write for grants, you can say it's part of the,
well, and that was my rationale, and my question is that we are working on we have a regional coordination plan that the transportation providers are working on, that we are supposed to use also to apply for grants. So that's why I was just a little confused, so that should maybe be incorporated into this plan
under strategy.
as a strategy.
yes, that's why we keep it kind of general. So like Ann mentioned, anybody can use this document and reference it on a proposal, because we have it as public transportation, and you provide public transportation, we provide, and we mention potential sources. That's where we mention who can be part of this, so you can always adopt some of this language for your proposals.
And as part of the strategies, add that plan as part of this plan.
We can definitely list that, yes. We'll make a note of that. Our next goal, improve safety and security practices. The objective is to increase rider safety by providing information, education on all applicable safety policies and general safety precautions. Client comfort and satisfaction begins with nurturing a safe and reliable bus system by all transit staff. By concentrating on prevention of accidents and incidents, the transit providers strive to ensure that every customer has a great experience when being transported. Staff must be updated on the industry's top safety practices and must encourage passengers to practice safety at all times. The measurable outcomes for this strategy listed below are to mitigate seatbelt accidents and incidents, increase the awareness of safety and security issues, dangers in the workplace that are particular to transit staff. Believe it or not, we do, most of our fleet has seatbelts. We have a policy that we encourage our riders to wear it. And if they don't want to wear it, then they have to sign a waiver. We try to enforce that as much as possible. We educate our riders via placards inside the buses or flyers that we post. And we have annual training with our staff on how to be more proactive and better drivers out on the field. Any questions, comments? Yes, please.
Yes, have you thought about doing instead of annual, going quarterly, safety?
We actually are this year we're implementing semi-annual because it is very hard for us to bring all the drivers in at one time. We have to host those on Sundays, and then the cost that comes along with it. So we're identifying the budget so that we can have more regular safety meetings, and we'll start looking into it. Maybe not having meetings itself, but having a safety flyer going out every month or every week, so that they can be more conscious about it. Thank you.
Okay, and so you mentioned you have seatbelts on the bus, and I've ridden the bus but the drivers never really implement wear your seatbelt.
Right.
You guys maybe thought about providing some customer service training to your bus drivers, just to train them how to talk to the people coming onto the bus, purposely ask them next week.
Yes, we continue to approach our employees about that they have to notify the clients when they board that they need to wear their safety, that it's recommended. It's not mandatory, but it's recommended, it's there, and it's for their safety. And but we'll take it back to our staff, and we'll make sure we have a meeting on the 22nd, and that's where we're actually going to recertify our whole staff on customer service and safety, and we'll bring that up. Thank you.
Well, another thing is that I know that you all use like a PA system.
Yes.
The PA system, there's sometimes when they talk too close into like this,
Oh.
and people don't understand, and it's a constant, from my understanding. Therefore, they need to also be aware that sometimes some people have hearing disabilities, things like that. So maybe educate them a little bit on that as well, so that they're aware that a lot of the consumers that ride to us do also have those kind of disabilities and be a little bit more conscious of it.
Thanks so much. That's perfect timing for me to bring it up to my staff on the 22nd. We'll definitely talk to them. I've never heard it before, so good. Okay, I'm going to move to our next goal. Our next goal is to continue to development of regional transit infrastructure. The objective is to provide facilities that allow passengers increase access to the bus. The Rio Grande Valley is a rapid growing area that requires added capital investment in transit infrastructure and nodes. Terminals, bus stops, mixed-use facilities, and the like allow the community more opportunities to ride public transportation and are vital resource in community enhancement and projects. The measurable outcomes for the strategies below are to provide more bus stops for our growing region, develop regional planning strategies, enable long-range transit planning by having sustainable local funding, improve bus fleet to retain comfort and reliability, and construct transit facilities in towns across the Rio Grande Valley. The strategies are implementation of a comprehensive bus stop program. Currently, we have a wave down system. Basically, if you know where the route goes on, you just stop there and you wave it down. It worked really good in the past, but now that we have almost tripled our ridership, it's affecting our on-time performance. And not only that, but people are being exposed to the elements, whereas if they have a dedicated bus stop with a bench or a shelter, even better, they'll have a better riding experience. So we're going to be working on this. We're going to start with the urbanized areas, such as the Mission, the McAllen, the Edinburgh, the FAR, West Laco, and along Business, so that we can start dedicating those official bus stops and start implementing those improvements, and hopefully also capture the advertising opportunity there. Once we have a shelter and bench, we can do some advertising and collect some revenues. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I have a question in regards to that. As we mentioned, the private entities trying to invest
you're going to be right in front of their business. They, I'm hoping that they can provide some kind of bench or something suitable for their consumers if they're going to be there. McAllen has big plazas, so does the Edinburgh area. Can that be incorporated, or how does that work?
It definitely, across the industry, across the nation, that's what we see, that they have the adopt a shelter or bench program. And that's where the business owners or the homeowners will actually take care of those facilities. And that goes a long ways to prevent graffiti or the trash, all that. And they notify the transit agency about needs at that particular
And it'll
location.
save you money so that you can close it either
Yes.
on the bus or whatever.
Correct, yes. Thank you.
Tom,
Yes, ma'am.
can you also coordinate with the county government for the same type of facilities and for colonials?
Yes, we can definitely reach out to the counties. We have really good partnership with Cameron County. We're working really close with Hidalgo and Willacy. We're going to reach out, but yes, that's a really good.
You can just add county to your last bullet there where it says coordinate with municipal governments, maybe municipal and county.
Perfect. We'll do that. Thank you. Again, like I mentioned before, we continue to develop a regional transit coordination plan. That's a live document that we, not only transportation providers participate on, but we also have over 20 different agencies that give us input on what they want to see in this regional plan. And we work with the state fairly close to keep that document up to date and implement projects out of that document, not just being a sitting document, but we do take it into consideration a lot.
Tom,
Yes.
is that the plan that, are you referring to the plan?
The RTAP, yes, the RTAP plan, yes.
So it is, so, okay.
One of the most important strategies that we have is to develop a sustainable funding source for transit across the region. Ourselves, we depend on the contributions from different municipalities and counties or agencies to operate. And then we also receive some money from the state. But other than that, there's no funding source for us. We don't have a general fund that we can tap into. And it's very hard for us to plan future growth when we don't know that that funding is going to be in place 3 years from now. So we'll continue to work on finding a dedicated funding source for the entire region that we can all benefit, not only Valley Metro, but the other transit providers here in the Valley. We're working on developing a fleet replacement plan. Now it's mandated by DOT that we have this plan, and we pretty much have a draft. We implemented it ahead of schedule because we now have the fleet replacement that is going to come next year. So we believe that having reliable buses are crucial to our service to attract more and retain the current clients that we do have. Again, we're going to coordinate with municipal governments and counties to develop transit facilities and modes to coincide with the plans. Yes, we have been reaching out to different cities, learning about what plans do they have. And most of the cities have their own plans, and we are now more than ever working together. Like we now have several projects with Edinburgh. In the past, they didn't exist. Mission, FAR, Westlaco, and we're also talking to the city of Hidalgo. We have talked to the city of Los Fresnos, Harlingen, San Benito. So we're reaching out, and we have had very high success working with different entities. Any questions regarding this goal?
Yes, I have a question. What kind of relationship do you have with other transit providers? Because it seems like, for example, McAllen bus station, it's first come, for example, for information on Valley Metro, no one came directly towards where to find it. And they said, if you want the bus, sometimes parts over there, wherever we just tell it to go. So sometimes we can go across the street. I was thinking you can coordinate maybe the use of shared facilities with other transit just to provide a more safe environment for people.
Yes, I'm glad that you asked that question because the McAllen terminal is super busy. If you've been there, is one of the busiest terminals here in the valley, and we work with BTC, Valley Transit Company, We have a contract with them to give information out. I think it's just a matter of putting more posters or letting people know that they can go to the BTC booth there at the terminal and request any general information, or if they want to buy tickets, they can go there. In Brownsville, we'll continue to work with Brownsville Metro so that they can give our information out. We have a contract with BTC there, so if they go to the BTC booth, they can get general information or buy passes. But I don't think we're doing a good job about letting the people know. I think you hit it right on the nail when you recommended that. I want to touch bases real quick before I forget. Developing a sustainable funding source here in transit for the valley is vital. Why? Because our region, we're over 3,000 square miles. We're bigger than a state here in the nation. Population-wise, we're bigger than several states. We're close to 1 million, and not counting our sister cities across the border who pretty much interact with us on a daily basis. So if you take that into account, we're over 2 million in population. But yet, the level of service that we have in public transportation is very minute compared to other border cities like Laredo. They probably double the level of service of the 4 systems combined here in the valley. El Paso, they triple or quadruple the level of service that they have out there. Corpus, again, the same thing. They run pretty much 7 days of service. They reach out, they have frequencies, they have nice buses, they have nice facility. They have a huge client population, and one of the main reasons that they're able to do this is because they have a dedicated funding source. They know that year through year they're going to receive that funding source. In their case, it's sales tax. A portion of the sales tax for those regions is being designated for transit. The sad part is the valley, it's already maxed out when it comes to sales tax, so we have to find another mechanism, another way of funding public transportation in the region so that we can have that really substantial growth, and that we know that 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now is going to be there. I encourage you to talk to your community, to your peers about a dedicated funding source for transit here in the valley. I cannot stress it enough. We do need it. And that's public transportation in the regional plan for the Development Council. If you have any further questions, comments, suggestions about any other goals or things that we missed on those goals, please let us know, or just send us an email or a phone call. We're a phone call away. But I want to thank you again for being here and taking time to give us input, valuable input for this strategic plan update.